Okay, guys, so we moved up to number 40, the 4 and the 0, the centaurs. Okay, so 4, like we said, this is all about the law and order, the structure, the foundation, the building, perfect balance, and discipline, rules, regulations, that kind of thing, right? And then the 0, we talked about the 0. Essentially, the 0 represents the God energy, the universe energy, the infinite energy. So something for you to think about, right? The laws of the universe, the laws of structure, the laws of, I don't know, you have to come up with that. But just take your time. And also, certain numbers mean certain things to different people. For me, 44 and 444 is a big number for me. Also, I have a life path number 4. So this is my number, right? So it could mean something there. Okay, so now let's look at the image. So we have a half human, half horse being here who's looking at their back. It could mean looking at your past, looking behind you. It could also represent things from the past that you're still looking at, that you maybe need to let go so that you can move forward into your new avenue, your new future, whatever it may be. Now, with the centaur cards, oftentimes in the Book of Realms, these are very stubborn individuals, and these are very close-minded sometimes individuals. So they're very much stuck in their ways. They're not very flexible. They're very, they can have a bit of an ego, and they're just essentially just set in their ways. They don't like change. So when this card comes up, essentially oftentimes this is what it means. It's just basically that this person's having a battle with their ego, their primal self and their human self. And in order for them to find that peace or that balance, they need to balance, which means they need to find the heart and the mind, the human and the animal, to work together and not against each other. So the best way I describe this to clients is oftentimes is like, this card really means that there are two parts of you that are constantly fighting, the heart and the mind usually. One side is telling you to go left, the other one is telling you to go right, and they never work together, and then you just stuck basically, or you end up being really upset because you're in this constant battle between yourself and you just cannot make up your mind. So when I often tell them about this card, they go, oh yeah, that kind of makes sense, Okay, so now let's read the message. The centaurs are here to remind you that in order to help yourself, you must release your pride and stubbornness. This situation calls for union between your heart and mind. Only when they work together, will you find the clarity and strength needed to move forward. Let go of the ego and focus on what is best for all. It doesn't have to be fair, it just has to be right. Now, it's very important that when you explain to people the ego card, if they already have a bit of an ego, and even if you don't have an ego, it can be a little bit offensive. Because people might take the ego as being up yourself or being arrogant, and you really need to explain to them that the ego, that's just an after effect of some people's egos, but the ego is really what you identify with. So if I identify myself as this person, my identity holds all these energies, and anything that moves me out of that is going to make me feel uncomfortable. So essentially, it's like, it's just what you identify with, and it can be flexible if you choose to, but if you don't, then this is also what is causing you the pain. Now, let's read the message. You are capable of embodying multiple aspects of yourself: strength and vulnerability, civility and wildness. This card reminds you that it's perfectly okay to present different sides of yourself depending on the situation. While this duality may be daunting to others, it is a natural part of who you are. Embrace your ability to adapt and navigate various circumstances. Your adaptability is strength that allows you to handle diverse situations effectively. Honor all parts of yourself and use them to your advantage. So again, sometimes these are the type of individuals like, this is the way I am and that's it. And they're not willing to be adaptable or flexible, and then they get themselves in some sort of situations where they wonder why nobody wants to hang out with them, or they can't seem to change because they're not willing to change. Okay, so now let's look at the reverse. You might be struggling with balancing different aspects of yourself or experiencing an internal conflict. This period calls for introspection rather than action. Take time to reflect on your inner struggles and let go of rigid expectations. Align all aspects of yourself so that you can move forward confidently. Trust that clarity will come with patience and self-reflection. Allow yourself to understand and resolve the internal battle, and be gentle with yourself as you navigate these phases of self-discovery and balance. So again, this is just reminding you that this is not a time to also blame things on the outside or put your focus on the outside so much. This is a time to look within and see what you can do from the inside out to shift that. All right, guys, see you in the next one.